Well, I've bought more boomboxes for some reason, and, well, as you may have noticed in that over-the-top edited intro sequence, some of them work. Well, I think all of them work. I've tested just about all of them. It's a pretty nice group. Cost me $86, which would be 55 USD. I don't know if you want to continue including what I paid for things. So maybe you find it interesting, maybe you find it annoying. I know whenever I hear prices in US dollars, at first I think, wow, I wish I could find stuff for that cheap. Then I remember the exchange rate and think, oh, who would pay so much for that thing? Anyway, again, some of them work. This one, yes, I haven't tested some of them, and I haven't tested any of them with a cassette tape, so that'll be interesting. But this one works. The real prize, in my view, is this beautiful JVC Nivico 9475W. It just looks really nice. It is missing the button for that, but if you poke something in there, it still resets it, so that's not too bad. And it's not essential or anything. And if you turn it on, it works. And let's avoid copyright. But it works, and it's got beautiful meters there. And I think you can... one of them does battery or something. I don't know. And this is not plugged in because the very kind people who owned this before left their batteries in. So that saved me some money. Not that I was going to buy batteries because they're way too expensive. But if you're going to put batteries in things when you sell them, thanks a lot. But yeah, it looks beautiful. I think it's really the nicest, although there is the Sony unit, which looks alright too, but it does not weigh anywhere near what this does. The Sony unit feels really light, whereas this one has considerable weight to it. Now, some of that may be due to the, what was it, it's probably 6 batteries, or... yep, 6 batteries that it takes, C-size batteries. So that'll add to the weight, but I think other than that, it is quite a substantial unit too. It even has places to put your shoulder strap in, which, if I had that, that'd be really cool, but I don't. But still, beautiful with the twin antennas and everything. And if it works, which we'll find out right now, that would be even better. Hopefully it doesn't chew up this tape. But, oh, eject is separate. So it's an older style unit. Okay, there we go. And, oh, perfect. Sounds... I did not mean it for it to be that music, but that was perfect. But we shall continue. It's not destroying the tape. Dirty controls mean that it works. It's a little wobbly and it sounds maybe a bit slow, but I don't know. let's see what else is on the other side. I think that, it could be that the thing I recorded on is bad too. And I find that music like that is probably the most obvious. I think that's if it's slightly off, it sounds really awful, whereas just your standard pop music usually does not sound anywhere near as bad. But I would say that works according to my standards. That is functioning, and I'm not going to do anything, because if I do anything, it'll probably make it a lot worse. But yeah, one down. Radio works. Cassette player just about works. Next one, it will be the Sony. Well, let's give the Sony a shot. Oh, that's less abrupt. I don't actually know which side's which on this. I should have labelled the tape. Let's see if bad things happen or not. Oh, that sounds better. It is a Sony. I suppose it is a Sony, so it should sound better, right? And the tape counter's working, yep. And the crackle's gone from this already, that's good. Oh well, who would have thought? The Sony is the most serviceable. Well, I suppose that's not that surprising. It's a Sony. It's sort of got the reputation. So, well, this is looking like a better and better pickup the more I try them out. So now, the little National. Something that you may find when you buy these older cassette recorders and all that, and boomboxes, is that rather than use the more common figure 8 chord, at least more common now, figure 8 chord, a lot of them will use this sort of shaver plug, which, although very similar, it is slightly smaller, which could cause a lot of frustration if you're trying to plug the figure 8 chord in. So this one is one that uses the shaver cord. Just a Remington one from my shaver, and let's find out if it works. It's on the off position, so okay, it appears to be completely and utterly dead. Sometimes they have a switch, and I think this one has the battery disconnect switch, and I'll just turn that off. And because my shaver cord is a smaller one, this was probably designed for one that was a bit thicker, that pushes that switch in. And if it doesn't push it in, it doesn't disconnect the battery compartment and connect the AC. So, unfortunately, I may not be able to test that without putting something in there. And I don't have anything to jam in there, and I don't have any cords that aren't this. Well, actually, I think I do. Well, it turns out I have one from my Sanyo boombox, which unfortunately doesn't work completely properly. It's a shame, there's no Sanyos here, because I really like Sanyo stuff, although the ones I've got have usually ended up broken, although that's my fault for buying junk. But yeah, this one's going a bit sticky on the plug end, but it should work. Okay, let's see.
Princess Nevada.
Okay, I say this is awful. Well, maybe this has been beaten up because it's missing a knob and everything. It's awful compared to this one and the Sony, but I bet it was probably cheaper. That'll always get me, putting the eject separate to the stop. Anyway, let's try this, and oh, that looks grubby, so I'm worried it's going to ruin my tape. Please don't. Oh, that's abrupt. It's alright, I suppose. It did the job. Actually, it didn't sound bad either, although it could just be my ears are getting used to it not playing right. Again, this is a rather harsh one to test things on, at least my stuff. This is the one that always sounds the worst. But that worked, so let's move on to the next one, really. So yeah, the National Panasonic, despite being rather beaten up looking, functions. Now, this thing does use the figure 8 chord. And let's see, it's a pretty junky looking thing, and it's had a rough life, lost the dial here, and has this weird little knob that I do not know the function of, because that is definitely added. Let's turn it on to the radio. Okay, the controls are completely just baked, fried, and obliterated. Well, that's wonderful. I'm not sure I want to put my tape in this, but I will. The slowest eject. Even the slowest of eject mechanisms will not save this thing from my scorn. I can't even sit. They're really hiding the cassette in there. That is so annoying. Oh. Because I can't see it, I'm paranoid it's going to ruin it. No, it's not pulling tape out. Of course. Of course, this awful little thing is the one that plays the tape best. Of course. Well, that just leaves this thing, which unfortunately I can't test right now because it has a weird socket that doesn't accept either of the cords I've got. And I didn't actually know where the battery compartment was until I opened this up, which I didn't realise these came out, and it turns out it's in here. But yeah, cool, the speakers pop out. Anyway, maybe I'll test this at a later date, once I maybe find a cord for it. Or I could stick some batteries in it. Well, so much for them being kind and generous. They're actually scheming crooks. They're like leaking batteries in here. A ticking time bomb. Okay, I'm overreacting a bit there. They've probably just been forgotten in here for years, but oh well. No such thing as a free gift. And I can't really use them to test out the record player, can I? Oh well, I'll try it out another time. Thanks for watching.